As the snow begins to melt in the northeast, chirping birds and warm weather fill the air. And for Gus, this means one thing: spring turkey hunting.
I really love hunting in the spring. You know, after that long winter, you just can't wait to get your bow back in your hand and get out back into the woods and start hunting. And I'm lucky enough to be able to go to places like Canada multiple times and be able to hunt black bear. But where I live here in the Northeast, there's not much hunting going on at that time of year. There's a lot of fishing, but not much hunting. So for me, one of my favorite things to do is to grab my bow, be able to head out to New York and the neighboring states like New Jersey and Connecticut with my bow and go after spring gobblers.
The eastern turkey is one of the most hunted of all subspecies of wild turkeys. In the Northeast, this is no different. With a later season and lots of hunting pressure, it can make a wary old Tom hard to persuade to come into range of you and your weapon.
Birds out in front of us, but they're a ways away. We got two birds that just came in, maybe 40 yards. Maybe 40 yards uphill, just strutting on top of it. I don't know if we can get turned. I don't know if we can get turned around to get a shot on them. Let's see if we try it. Just a beautiful bird here in New Jersey. It's one of those deals where, you know, we work at some birds. These birds heard us calling, came around behind us up a mountain. You know, one of those things where you're in a blind, you got to flip around, try to shoot uphill, see if you can get a shot at him, get the camera on him. Well, it all worked out today. We just got a beautiful bird here. He's probably, I would say, a 4-year-old bird because he's definitely way over 20 pounds. He's got a good 10-inch beard, but the broom is so thick. His spurs are a little worn down, but it's so common for our area because of the rock that are here. They usually do wear him down. But just a fantastic bird. I'm so lucky to get a shot on a bird like this, and I couldn't be happier.
Gus has a New Jersey bird on the ground, but he's not the only one hitting the woods in search of some spring turkeys. Let's join Lisa as she tries to fill her turkey tag in Wisconsin.
Well, it's starting to rain, so we're gonna go see if we can find that Jake. All right, so I was starting to freak out. I thought I lost my bird. There he is, right there. Well, there he is, guys. It's the 3rd day of 5th season here in Wisconsin, and we got it done. Had a little foul up yesterday, had some awesome footage. Birds did everything they were supposed to do. I did not follow the script. They did, I didn't. So this was some nice redemption, and he should be very delicious. The chef had ordered a nice young Jake for us to eat, so I figured I'd bring him home. All right, let's get him home, guys.
Turkey hunters enjoy what's known as running and gunning, typically done with a shotgun in hand It gives you a slight advantage being able to move around and make multiple setups to try to fill your tag. In Gus's case, he has his bow in hand, and the name of this game is patience.
Anytime you can communicate with the animal you're hunting, I find that so special. And that's one of the great things about turkey hunting is that, you try to call this bird in so that you can get your shot. And especially I use a bow, so I got to get them in pretty close. It could be really rewarding and it could be really frustrating. We just shot a really nice bird, heavy bird in New Jersey this morning about 7 o'clock, right off the roost. We just got set up here in New York. We've heard birds, we've been scouting. We know there were birds here. We just hit the calls, heard them gobble. See if we can call and get one of these birds in and double up today. So I killed a great bird here in New Jersey, got my gear packed up, and I was headed to New York. And the cool thing about where I'm hunting in New Jersey is I'm only 5 miles from the New York border. So that means I can get into New York and possibly kill 2 birds in 2 different states on the same day.
Sitting in the same spot for hours on end can be enough to drive a man crazy. But Gus knows, sooner or later, things will turn in his favor.
Well, we doubled up again this year on archery birds in New Jersey and then New York. We're only hunting about 5 miles apart from the New Jersey blind that we use, the permission on that property, and the property we have in New York. It's only about 5 miles apart, but it's right on the border of New York and New Jersey. And we shot a beautiful bird this morning in New Jersey at about 7 o'clock. Got that bird checked in, had plenty of time to get over to our New York spot. Got in the blind, started calling, didn't hear much. About a half hour later, all of a sudden, the whole woods exploded. It must have been 5 gobblers that came in. This one presented a shot, got a good shot on him, watched him go down. He didn't expire right away. We watched him lay up in the rocks, just kind of sat tight. And once he expired, we went out and retrieved him. A beautiful bird, a mature bird. He's not quite as heavy as the bird we shot this morning, but it's every bit of a 10.5-inch beard. Nice spurs on him, another mature bird, and a great way to start turkey season here in the Northeast.
With 2 tags filled for Gus, we hit the warm spring woods with Johnny as he tries to call up a spring monarch of his own.
Long week of hunting finally paid off. We got our bird. Real nice bird, real nice fan. Beautiful beard. I'm a little jealous. He's got me beat by 3-4 inches. But respectful beard nonetheless. Respectful bird nonetheless.
And like I said, turkey hunting can be frustrating. And the later in the season you go, the worse it gets. I mean, these birds have been called to. There's a lot of hunting pressure. Their breeding cycle is wearing down. It makes it harder and harder to call a bird in. And the thing for me is, I'm always wondering, am I calling too much, calling too little, using the right calls? And the fact that that bird can hear you and he won't come in, it just could make you crazy by the end of the season.
With a close call under his belt, Gus heads back out the following morning, hoping one of these weary late-season birds will slip up and give him the shot he has been waiting for.
Just ranging a few trees as yardage markers. I hunted in this area yesterday. I was on the edge of a field, had a bunch of different birds come close. Some stayed in the woods, strutting. They wouldn't commit to the decoys. Had a nice tom come in. Again, couldn't get a shot on him. He just stayed in the thick stuff. So I decided yesterday to move my blind about 50 yards into these woods, set up here in the morning. Now, I know the birds are roosted maybe with 100 yards here. And we got a lot of rain coming down this morning, so I don't know if it's just holding them up. Heard a few gobbles this morning. Gonna sit tight, make sure they're down off the roost before I start calling, see if I can call some of these birds in. I attempted to outsmart the birds I saw the day before, but with all the hunting pressure from the weeks past, they wanted nothing to do with my setup and just hung up just outside my comfort zone. 2 days of getting beat by the same birds is really starting to frustrate me.
After 2 long, frustrating days in the field for Gus, he is hoping the third time will be the charm, and he can get a little redemption on these spring turkeys.
Well, just an amazing hunt here this morning, and I've been hunting by myself and just been a little frustrated the last few days, just not having birds come to my calls. They're starting to get a little call shy. That's just common here in the Northeast. But came through this morning, beautiful bird. Came to my decoy strutting and got a nice shot on him, a nice 2-year-old bird. So turkey season ended up great for me. I wound up taking 2 birds in New York, 2 in Jersey, 2 in Connecticut, 6 birds with my bow. Just an amazing season, and I want to thank everybody for watching.
It's hard to beat a quiet, cold, crisp spring morning. The silence broken by the sounds of lonely toms seeking hens, albeit a very trying hunt, but the sights of a longbeard breaking strut to let out a thunder-like gobble is enough to make you get up and out of bed each and every morning in hopes that this day just may be the day the two of you finally meet.